Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. You are knowing what you are wanting. You are enjoying the evolution of your expansion. So you are adoring the contrast that provides it. That's not the first trick question we will offer today. The first one is, you are enjoying the expansion. Are you? Yes. That matters because it's eternal. You can't shut it down. Do you want to? Well, not when you put it that way, Abraham. No, we would not want to stop our expansion. But do you know why your expansion matters? Do you know why it matters that you embrace expansion? Because, well, we hope you take this the right way. It's inevitable. So there's no sense in bucking that kind of current. It's inevitable. Your expansion is inevitable. But the real answer that we're wanting you to hear and not only accept but jubilantly embrace is that in order to have joy, you must embrace expansion. Because since the expansion is inevitable, if you don't keep up with your most expanded aspects, then there's a tension within you that mutes your joy. It just all fits together so perfectly. In other words, life causes you to expand, and if you go along with the expansion, then you ride that wave and you feel wonderful, and you stay up to speed with what you've become. But if you hold back, if you long for the past, or you compare something that was with something that is in a negative way, rather than always accepting that what is more and therefore better than what was, no matter how it feels right now. Now that's big, isn't it? But for those of you who are moving through time, and all of you are, for those of you who are understanding that you are deliberate creators, and that deliberate creation means you're thinking on purpose, for those deliberate creators, a big piece for you in your joy factor will be in accepting that now, no matter what it looks like, is better than what was because it's more. And if it doesn't feel better than what was, hear this, it's really good. If what is right now doesn't feel better to you than what was, then you're focused right now in a screwy way. Meaning you're not focused into the fullness of all that you have become. Sometimes people say things such as, life isn't as good for me as it once was, or I remember this time in my life that felt better for this reason. And when you're focused like that, you're doing yourself a momentary disservice, because you are in that moment denying something more that life has caused you to become. When you know what you don't want, if you don't have enough money, what do you find yourself talking about mostly? Plenty of money? Not usually. You could, and it would be just as easy. If you're sick, what do you find yourself talking mostly about? Oh, my head hurts. You're mostly talking about what is. And that really is what we want to stir up a little bit in this conversation that we're having here today. Do you want to talk about what is? If what is great, yes, yes, yes. Lists of positive aspects could not be a more valuable process for you. Rampages of appreciation, there's no tool that will serve you more. There is nothing better for you than to talk, focus, feel about the things in your world that are the way you want them to be. But those things that you identify as not the way you want them to be right now, you want to get off of them. Jerry used to tell a story, and Esther loved it because it was so explicit and made so much sense. She could see it right away. And when she held it in her consciousness, it served her. He said, sit in front of a fireplace. He lived in Arkansas at the time that he discovered this analogy. And there's a chinkapin log on the fire. Esther had never known what one of those was. She's still not sure she's ever seen one, but apparently when they are on fire, they pop a lot. So they are shooting sparks off at whoever is nearby. And he said, so you're sitting there with your beautiful new cashmere sweater, and a spark comes right to you, and he says, if you in that moment just flick it off, nothing happens to your beautiful sweater. But if you're distracted and don't notice, and you allow it to linger, then there is a bigger impact on your sweater. And his analogy is, when the thought first comes, and it's small and insignificant, and you flick it off by choosing another thought, it's simple. But if you allow it to smolder, if you allow it to grow, if you engage in conversations with others about it, if you write it in your diary, if you blog about it, if you write home about it, if you call that friend who always wants to know what's going on, and you tell them what's going on. In other words, are you ready to let go of more of what is on your way to where you're going? When you're driving down the highway, and it's a beautiful day out there, and you have this magnificent windshield, you just washed it, the day is bright, you're looking out ahead, or do you have your windshield installed in your floorboards? Or do you spend all of your time looking in your rearview mirror? The analogy is silly in that regard because you know what would happen if you were just looking down at the road while you were going. If you were just looking at what is, you wouldn't get very far down the road. If you're looking in your rearview mirror, you wouldn't get very far down the road either, would you? And so we're wanting to get your attention. We want to sort of wake you into a keener awareness that you are the creator of your own reality, and that the reason that you are the creator of your own reality is because you've come here with great tools and intentions to enjoy the express motion forward that you knew was inevitable. And the reason is not as important right now in this conversation as the method by which you are the creator of your own reality. You do it by your thoughts. But you can't monitor thoughts. There's too many of them. There's too many moving parts. But you can pay attention to the way you feel. And if you will leave this gathering today with one intention in mind, and that is you care about how you feel, and you understand that how you feel has relevance. It is strict relationship with the larger part of you. That when you feel negative emotion, it means one thing, and it means the same thing every time you feel it. No matter what the negative emotion is or how severe it is, it always means the same thing. The larger part of you has an opinion about the thing that you're feeling negative emotion about that is different. So when you are mad at yourself, that discouragement is your indicator the source isn't mad at you. If you hate that guy because of his behavior, that hatred you feel is your indicator that source does not hate that guy. If you are feeling confusion, the confusion is your indicator that you are disallowing the clarity that would be available if you weren't focused in a way that is disallowing the clarity. You see what we're getting at? You have the ability to focus yourself into such alignment that you will be romping through life feeling as if you are on a sort of magic carpet ride where everywhere you go, it feels as if, and it is exactly as if, an entourage has preceded you and smoothed out the bumps because they know, we know who you are and what you want and where you are in relationship to what you want and what the path of least resistance is to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And why are we interested in helping you get from where you are to where you want to be? Is it because where you want to be is better than where you are? No. It's because the journey from where you are to where you want to be is really, 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 really fun. Hard to hear that if you're standing in the midst of something that you don't like, because it feels like if I could just not be standing here, I would feel so much better. But we want you to know that you're always going to be in some place on your way to someplace else. In some thought on your way to another thought. Experiencing some experience on a way to another experience. So if you can sort of chill out a little bit, lighten up a little bit, and be eager about the journey and not so fixated on the destination that you feel disappointed that you're not there yet, then everything will take on a fresh new look. And you'll start looking out the windshield of your vehicle instead of at the floorboards. And you will begin to feel the clarity and the power of who you really are. So as we talk to you about how you are vibrational, we want to remind you that you are interpreting vibration through your physical senses, and you're really, really good at it. It's why you see as you see and hear as you hear. These are mechanisms or interpreters of vibration that reflect back to you something that is meaningful. But there is another vibrational sensor that you have that is your emotion. We call it your emotional guidance system. That is a wonderful reflection of two really important things. Your emotions are a reflection of what you've got going on vibrationally because of what you're talking about or thinking about, what you're remembering, what you're observing, what you're fantasizing. What's active in your mind right now is one facet of why you feel the way you feel. But the other facet is you have a source within you, an inner being, who has an opinion about the exact thing that you are focused upon. Not something else, the exact thing that you are focused upon. So when you find something in your world troubling and you focus upon it and you feel worry, the feeling of worry is simply, and we don't want to diminish it, but it is simply, we want you to get the concept of this. It is simply the fact of a differing opinion between what you're thinking and what the source within you is thinking right here, right now. When you find someone and you fixate on their flaws and you acknowledge their shortcomings, even if they are obvious, even if everyone you know would agree with you, as you focus upon someone and you find a reason to diminish them, you find an opposing opinion every single time from the source within you, who no matter what you think and no matter what justification you have for your disgust or disdain for that person or situation, your inner being is still loving them. Which causes some people to say, then my inner being is more crazy than I thought. Maybe my inner being needs more information. Maybe I should explain or justify why I feel this way. But the more you justify or explain why you feel that way, the worse you feel, because the more you practice the vibration that keeps you from fully allowing yourself to experience the fullness of the clarity and the love and the knowing and the vitality that is source, you see. So this guidance system is perfect. You just got to figure out how to make it work for you. And the way you make it work for you is by first acknowledging that it exists. I have an inner being who offers a frequency, and when I offer a frequency, my frequency blends or doesn't. My frequency blends or resists. I'm up to speed with who I am, or I've got resistance in my vibration and I'm not up to speed with who I am. The better I feel, the more I'm blended. The worse I feel, the more I'm not blended. The better I feel, the more I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on to the frequency of my source. The more I am allowing myself, here now, to be an extension of source. An extension of source, a leading edge version of source, a pioneer of source, you might say, out here mixing it up, exploring the contrast, coming to new awarenesses of what you want. It's why we always ask you, do you know what you want? Do you know why you're here? Are you enjoying the expansion of your desire? These are important questions, because if you are enjoying the expansion of your desire, that means life is causing you to know about new things that you want. Because you cannot have an exposure to life without coming to new awarenesses about what you prefer. And when you come to that new awareness about what you prefer, the source within you moves fully, completely into the vibrational frequency of the fullness of what you have asked for. But sometimes our human friends, dear hearts that you are, don't realize that source has moved there, because you are still often in that justifying mode. Like you need to explain more fully that you want that because of all the reasons you don't like this. I want more money because it's so hard.